Guys, the day has finally come where I was supposed to be doing something that I should have done over a year ago. So a little backstory, if you guys didn't know, my house got raided by the police a year ago and they took my car. They took my beautiful Hellcat for like a year. So it pretty much put a stop in all the plans that I had for the car. And one of those things was actually getting an intake installed. So for those guys that don't know, I had a B Woody intake on the Hellcat for the first 6 months of me owning the car before they took it away. And I ended up getting a JLT intake just because it was the summertime and it was getting hot, and I noticed that my intake air temps were rising like really high, and the engine was getting heat soaked. So I was just like, you know what, it's time for me to switch intakes. And I did some research and I found the JLT intake. That one actually comes with a heat shield, and I bought that intake, and the next day the cops came and took the car away. So this the JLT intake had been sitting in my closet in this little cabinet here for the past year. It was just collecting dust. So now that I finally got my car back, I was able to install the JLT intake. Funny story, my friend Buster actually, he just bought a Trackhawk last week, and he wanted to buy my B Woody intake off of me. So he came last night at midnight. I kid you not, he came in the middle of the night and said, let's take off the B Woody intake, give it to me, and let's install your JLT intake as well. So we ended up doing that install and removal of the B Woody and then installing the JLT intake. To be honest, I'm not really sure if the B Woody intake is even gonna fit in his Trackhawk. It is the same engine, but I mean, I don't know if it's compatible. We'll have to see. I mean, he hasn't installed it yet, but hopefully it works out for him, because I already installed the JLT intake and I'm not going to take that off. But anyways, yeah, guys, so I did install the JLT intake, but let me tell you, that intake is huge. It's humongous. It did take some time to install just because it has some extra parts. It comes with a heat shield. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my hood for you so you guys can check out the JLT. But let me tell you, that thing is fat. It is fat. It is thick just the way I want them. You could see the intake through here. I don't know if you can see through here because it's kind of dark, but I'll pop the hood open and you guys can check out the JLT intake. Dude, this thing is fat as hell, thick, just how I like my women. But yeah, I mean, the filter itself is it's way bigger than the B Woody. I will say that it is way bigger than the B Woody intake. It actually barely clears the hood. It actually doesn't clear the hood at correction. So if I put the hood down, like, I can feel it, like I don't know if you guys can see, but it is rubbing on the hood since the intake is big. Now I gotta pop my hood again. But anyways, guys, yeah, so that is the JLT intake. It honestly didn't take too long to install. It took maybe like 15 minutes to take off the B Woody and probably another 30 minutes to install the JLT intake. It just took a little bit longer, mainly because, one, it was dark as hell. I could barely see anything. Thank God I didn't drop the 10mm socket. But yeah, just installing the hose, the PVC pipe, and then all this stuff, all this nice stuff for the to regulate the intake temps and all that good stuff. But the JLT intake, guys, so that is the heat shield that comes around it, so I'm really excited about that. I thought today was going to be the best day to do it too, just because it's pretty hot today. So it's been pretty cold in Southern California for the past couple of weeks. It's been raining on and off, and the weather's been actually perfect. When I say perfect, I'm like 60, 65 degrees is really good. I'm more of a cold person kind of guy, but it is pretty hot today. It's like 80 degrees outside. I'm sweating a little bit in my garage already, and I've only been out here for a couple of minutes. So I'm hoping today is a really good day to go for a drive and test out the JLT intake and see how well that heat shield does. And there's the intake as a whole. We'll monitor the intake air temps. So we're gonna go for a quick drive. Gonna go for a drive. I want to do like a street driving freeway, and then we might go up the canyons a little bit where it's a little bit cooler, and so we can let the Hellcat loose just a little bit. But I'm really excited. I really haven't taken out this car ever since I installed the JLT intake, so I'm really interested to see how well it does versus the B Woody. If you guys also didn't know, I've pretty much had every intake for a Hellcat, at least the top three. I've had the Like Maker on my old Hellcat, I had the B Woody on this Hellcat, and then I just switched to the JLT. But anyways, guys, let's go for a drive. Let's start this car and get moving. Sorry guys, we had to make one pit stop. And she just filled up.
Get that just brushed clean feeling with Orbit sugar-free gum.
Alright guys, so I've been driving around for a little bit. I am driving on the streets right now, so I'm pretty much in stop and go traffic. It is rush hour. It is like, what time is it? It's almost 4 o'clock. So yeah, I'm hitting rush hour traffic on the streets and then on the freeway as well. But as you guys can see, the intake air temps, they're not too hot. Right now it's at 125, and this is pretty much in stop and go traffic, so it's not too bad. I do want to point out it is 86 degrees outside, so it is pretty hot outside. I do have the AC on and everything. So 125, it's actually 127, so it's going up a little bit obviously since the car is idling. It's not not really going anywhere. It's not too bad. If I had the B Woody, I'm sure it'd be like a 140, 145. So this is actually not too bad. And I'm sure you guys can hear the B Woody intake as well. I mean, not the B Woody, Jesus. You guys can hear the JLT intake whine as well. So it definitely still has the whine. Alright guys, so I've been driving for a minute now, and the intake air temps, it's like at 136. It's not too bad. I was stuck in dead traffic on the freeway, so that's why I didn't want to bring you guys along for that, since I know that's not what you guys want to see. So now that we're up in the canyons, go to custom mode so you guys can hear the whine. Wow, the whine is pretty close to the B Woody, I'm not gonna lie. I said the B Woody was louder, but honestly right now I can't really tell. As you guys can see, the temperature did drop a little bit since we're up in the canyons now. It is 77, so it's a little bit cooler versus the 85, 86 that we had down in the city. I'll be honest guys, the JLT whine is pretty similar to the B Woody. Like I said, it is a little bit more deeper whine than the B Woody. The B Woody's a little bit more higher pitched. But I'll be completely honest, up in the canyons, I think what was causing the whine to be a little bit quieter was just the heat. Because usually when the engine's hot and the intake's hot, the whine isn't as audible as it's supposed to be. But up in the canyons right now, as you guys can see, it's getting pretty cold now. It's 72 outside. Since we're up in the canyons, it's all shady. It's really nice, beautiful terrain. So the whine is definitely pretty audible, as you guys can see for yourself. And these are with the windows up, and these people are just looking like, what the hell? That's with all windows up, guys, so that whine is definitely loud still. So wow, the JLT definitely did a good job between making sure the whine is way louder than stock, and also with that heat shield keeps everything protected, so we don't have to worry about heat soaking the engine when we're driving. Alright guys, so we stopped at pretty much the exact same spot where I filmed my other video with the B Woody intake. As you guys can see, we're stopped right now. Intake air temp is at 132. So last time I popped the hood and I touched the B Woody intake, and that thing was hot. I recall my intake air temps being a little bit higher as well. So let's go ahead and pop the hood and do the same thing with the JLT, and let's see what the difference is. I just want to say my car looks beautiful right now with the sunset. It is really dirty. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. You can see all the finger. Is this a hand? Did I do that? I don't think I did that. I don't know who's touching my car, but anyways, there we go, the JLT intake, guys. So, well, it's not even hot at all. I can't feel anything. I don't know if it's the plastic that's protecting the heat from warming up the intake, but I literally do not feel any heat besides the hot air blowing out of the engine. But the intake itself, it is not hot at all. If you guys remember, I couldn't even touch the B Woody intake last time because it was pretty hot. So wow, that's really good. Is my tire hanging off the road? Is that what's... Jesus, wow, okay. All right guys, but that is the first review and the first drive with my JLT intake. I will say I'm really surprised with just not just the quality of the JLT intake, but also the fact that my engine isn't heat soaking as much as the B Woody, and it still has that really audible supercharger whine. Like I said, it is a little bit more deeper than the B Woody versus the high pitched sound, but my personal preference, I actually like the deeper sound from the JLT intake that it gives for the supercharger. So that's just my 2 cents on that matter. But overall, I'm really happy with the JLT intake. The install was super easy. It wasn't difficult at all. The only reason it took us long was because we were installing it at like 1 in the morning, so it was pretty dark. Couldn't really see much, but we installed it correctly, thank God. But I'm really happy with the results of the JLT, and I'm honestly, if anyone's looking to get an intake for the Hellcat, if you live not in such a cold climate, if you live in a really cold environment, maybe you can stick with the B Woody or a leg maker or something like that, since you don't have to worry about heat soaking as much. But if you're somewhere in California or just anywhere warm in general, definitely I would recommend the JLT Intake. I mean, I love it so far. Obviously, this is my first day driving it with the JLT, but it did not disappoint. So definitely check it out. I'll put the link in the description down below. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. I'm sorry I didn't post for like a month now. It's been a while. I've just been super busy with work, but I'm hoping to get back into putting videos out for you guys maybe once or twice a week. So hopefully once this case is over, we can finally go back to doing YouTube full time. But until then, 1 to 2 videos a week. That is the goal that I'm going to make for myself. So hold me accountable to that, guys. Definitely keep pestering me if I don't make a video. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, drop a comment down below letting me know what videos you guys want to see in the future. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and just support the channel. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.